Hi everyone, this is Sebastian from Marquez Art Studio. Welcome back. Today I'm going to show a time-lapse version of an upgraded Vietnam veteran camouflage Air Force One sneaker. That was a mouthful. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like my videos. I will be posting more content here on some customized shoes in the future. So to get things started, I'm just going to use a dark green color, mix it in with some too thin, and that'll allow me to airbrush this initial color onto certain parts of the shoe. I want to make sure we get the right mix. If you put too much too thin, it'll just look watery and really light and just take a lot longer to add the layers of colors that are needed. So this is kind of a more of an art than a science. You want to just kind of feel out how much paint and too thin mix you need, and that'll just make things a lot easier when it comes time to spray. I'm also just sifting out any of the particles and junk that might be in that paint, especially if it's paint you haven't used in a while. This is again to ensure a nice smooth flow of the paint going through the airbrush. After each layer of paint that I'm putting on, I want to make sure I get a nice heat dry on there. You want to let the paint dry really well between layers so that you don't risk any kind of paint peeling or cracking off later. With this design, the swoosh is going to have a yellow undercoat underneath the stripes that I'm going to be putting in. But before we put the yellow, I do need to put some mist paint. That's really just going to help reduce the amount of layers, the amount of time I'll spend putting down the yellow, which is very translucent. It would require multiple layers if I don't do this step. So using the mist just kind of helps speed up that process and allow me to build up that bright yellow color within 4 to 5 layers instead of, double that. Now for the real fun part. Here's where I really have to be precise with this lettering, the stitching here on the back of the shoe. I use a toothpick, as you can see. Some of the finer point brushes can do the job as well, but using a toothpick, believe it or not, is actually probably one of the best tools to use for this part of the job. And one of the near final steps for this particular shoe, I laid down the stencil for the camouflage graphics. I'll be filling those in before we get to the last step of putting in some letters that will say U.S. Army and Vietnam Vet. Now, I didn't capture a video of all the layers. It did take quite some time, but you will see the finished product at the end of this video and what that looks like. Now let's move on to cutting some vinyl so we can get those letters put on. And there you have it, everyone. The final product. Here's the Camoflauge Air Force Ones that I did for the client, who is a Vietnam vet. Thank you for proudly serving for our country. If you have any quick questions or comments, please leave them below. Don't forget to hit subscribe and like, and follow me for more content on customized shoes. Have a great day.